my name is Karolina. I'm the volunteer in the Jewish Museum in Warsaw. So every year on the 19th of April we are celebrating the anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Why daffodils? Every year when the Marek Edelman, one of the uprisers, was still with us, he was bringing the daffodils to this monument, and that is why we decided the daffodils would be amazing like emblem or symbol of those anniversaries.
Does it commemorate specifically the liquidation, or does it commemorate the entire?
Commemorating of the start of the uprising in the Warsaw Ghetto, which was finished, as far as I remember, on the 16th of May.
Right.
So until the 16th of May, the museum is organizing some events regarding this event, this history event. However, due to the COVID pandemic, everything was moved online.
It's in conjunction with the Oneg Shabbat, huh?
Kind of, I would say. I mean, it's more connected with the uprisers, you know, who decided on the 9th of April they will fight with. It was kind of connected with the liquidation of the ghetto. So the uprisers, they said that okay, if we are going to die, we would like to die holding the weapons and killing the Germans, right? So
to give us a few more days, a few
exactly,
more.
Yeah.
I've read, yeah. Are there any survivors who can still make testimony?
I mean, as far as I remember, there are one. For sure, there's someone who's living right now in Israel. However,
do you know the name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Sorry.
Sorry. But however, I think that the majority of uprisers died during the uprising, so there are only 3 of them who survived. But I think someone is still alive, but maybe like 10, 20, maybe maximum of them.
What can those in the diaspora do to commemorate this day and the next few weeks without knowing the whole history?
So actually, the museum actually is. It's not. I mean, of course, we are connecting with the Jews, but however, the majority of people who are here right now, they are not Jews. So we also, due to this event, we are trying to. We call to all people who are living in Warsaw that there were 2 uprisings during the Second World War. So the Warsaw Uprising, which is much more, much more interesting. I mean, I would say interesting, much more
known by the.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Or at least commemorated in years past.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's just because we were kind of. I mean, people who Warsaw Uprising, it's more. Recognizable, if you can use such a word. However, since 2013, when we start our action, every year more and more people actually they are recalling and they are remembering that there were 2 uprisings in Warsaw during the Second World War.
Is there a reason why it hasn't been as commemorated?
I would say that few. First of all, we didn't have such a big organization or institution like the Polin Museum, who was collecting all the organizations, to kind of to create such an event. So the impact of one museum is much bigger than the smaller one. Secondly, I would say.
Because I don't mean to cut you off, but there have been so many heroes, from non-Jews who are heroes helping the Jews. And
I would say it's also connected with the history which we are learning at school. I mean, as far as I remember, I mean, I'm from Warsaw, I'm quite familiar with the history of my city. My aunt was rescuing Jews during the Second World War, so actually the history...
What's her name, may I ask?
My name? Or
no, your aunt's name.
My aunt, Helena. And actually, so for me it was, understandable that there are 2 uprisings. But I would say it's also connected that in the history books in schools, in primary school or junior high school, there are only 1 or 2 maybe sentences about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, and there are 2 pages or 3 pages about the Warsaw Uprising. So I think also it's from the beginning we don't know that the Warsaw Uprising was in Warsaw.
Is it well for 40 years those documents were sealed anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not sure actually. I mean, as I mentioned, I'm the person who knows the history, so for me it's very weird that not so many people know about the history. But I would say that every year more and more people remembering. Even today, when I was showing the daffodils to people, they were like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah. So
And the daffodil specifically was linked to a particular individual, right?
The Marek Adelman, yes, one of the head of the uprising actually, because every year he was coming here
Right.
when he was still with us, and
He's the one who became a cardiologist?
Pardon?
He became a cardiologist afterwards?
Yes, exactly, yeah, this one.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of videos on it.
Exactly.
Incredible.
So like he was the one who was bringing every year the bouquet of daffodils. So the person who created this event with the daffodils, she was like, okay, I remember the daffodils which Marek Adelman was bringing here, so let's have the symbol once again.
Are you optimistic about this generation or even the previous generation to really invest in this, or do you think it's going to become a political wedge and nationalistic wedge?
Also, unfortunately, the politicians...
I don't mean to get into politics, but...
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the politicians are not the most, how to say it, the most...
a fair judge, a fair judge
exactly.
of the...
However, even today, during the COVID-19, crisis, there are quite a lot of people, actually, so... And
well, I lived in Israel for 3.5 years, and I am really impressed by this type of solidarity. To be honest with you, I mean it's
good
because
to see. And even the sirens,
yes, that's very Israel. Yes.
However, it's a new thing. I mean,
no, but in Israel every year they do this for Yom HaShoah and for Yom HaZikaron, the Memorial Day. There are traces, and it's.
Yeah, however, those sirens, I think since like 2017 or 16, the mayor of Warsaw decided to, okay, so on the 19th of April we will have also, we will turn on those sirens. So it's kind of also a new thing. As you saw,
they aren't as loud as they are in Israel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, of course.
In Israel, it's just
yeah. However, I'm not sure if so many people stand on the street when they heard about the sirens. But still, we are doing something. I mean, every year I think more and more things will be done.
And just a personal reason, like why are you a volunteer? What makes you a volunteer?
Well, first of all, I'm from Warsaw. I was born in Warsaw. My parents were born in Warsaw. My grandma was born in Warsaw. Her whole family, they survived the Warsaw Uprising, and after the war they came back to Warsaw. So I'm very Warsaw person, so for me it's a natural thing. Also, as I mentioned, my family was King Jews during the Second World War, so it's also kind of commemorating them, those people,
Are you doing any type of historical research, PhD, or some type of?
No,